Hello, good morning, and welcome to the most bizarre slate of baseball ever. Yeah, it's the Stokastic MLB Strategy Show right here on the Stokastic YouTube channel. Many of you premium YouTube users, you no longer have the ads, huh? How's that? Yeah, but anyway, 3-game slate starts at 4 Eastern. And not only that, look, you won't believe this, right? This is what's bizarre. Look at the ownership on pitchers today. You have Logan Gilbert at home against the White Sox. They have a 3.1 implied total. We've gotten good performances from both Brian Wu and George Kirby playing them in this same situation. 90% owned. And then Paul Skeens at 70% at home against the Cincinnati Reds. So this is less of a, do we play Logan Gilbert today or not? I mean, you're going to get to Logan Gilbert. You're going to get to some Skeens. I think more Gilbert in this spot, cheaper price point, lower total, excellent strikeout stuff, elite at home, higher top 2 pitcher probability. Granted, he's got more ownership. He's negatively leveraged, but on a 3-gamer, what the hell do you expect, you know? Also, from a value standpoint, you could argue that Gilbert's $1,000 too cheap. No joke. I think you can make an argument that he's just way too cheap in a spot like this. Fischel, I've lost confidence in 10K pitchers. I don't know, man. Brian Wu was 10K the other day, and he was fantastic, right? He was awesome. It's super easy to remember the times that you've been burned by a lot of these expensive pitchers. And Devin, yeah, good morning. Chat is dominating home run roulette. Dude, you guys are up. What is it, like 9-1 now? You have 3 homers. I got one yesterday. It was Vlad, but that doesn't matter because I had to pick a 3-leg homer prop parlay. Not to mention, I don't know if you guys saw this, but Trey Turner was a homer short of the cycle. He singled, he doubled, and he tripled. What are you going to do? It looks like you guys are running away with this. We're not doing home run roulette today. We'll close it out tomorrow. And the only shot Josh and I have is to go massive here and go with like a mega 10-1 long shot or something like that. But anyway, we've got preseason football tonight. All of my picks are posted over on Tails for free. I post them before the video goes up. I post them before I put the thread up. Link is down there for those of you guys who want to sweat football with me this season. All of them are going to be 100% free. I'm doing this because I want to, right? I don't have to do this. What I mean is, like, no one came to me and said, hey, can you do picks this year? I was like, you know what? I like football, and it's the only sport I genuinely love betting. So let's just put them all up there for free. All you got to do, by the way, click that link. And if you don't have a Tails account, create a free account. It takes literally takes 5 seconds to create a free account. Totally free. No credit card information or nothing like that. And then just follow me on there. You'll see it. It's a big blue follow button. You can set notifications, whatever you want. But yeah, let's sweat some football tonight, have some fun. You're right, though, Lee. It's a good day for a short slate with football tonight. Gonna see some Jalen Milroe out there. That should be fun. Actually, kind of a fun game. Anthony Richardson and, you've got Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones battling for that spot as well. But yeah, anyway, this slate, Alan, no perfect lineup today. Only 3 games. Plus, there's no shelf life on something like that when it's a 4 o'clock start. You know what I mean? Like, we wouldn't have it up probably till 1 o'clock anyway, and it's not worth it. Green check mark. Morning, brother. But yeah, I mean, looking at ownership on a slate like this, Gilbert and Skeens far and away your 2 best options. 2 of the best pitchers in baseball, not just on a small slate. 2 good matchups, 2 great parks for pitchers, really low totals for these teams. I mean, all of the boxes can be checked. Marquee Sports said NFL preseason is hard. DFS, absolutely. I just don't feel like digging through every spot on the roster. That's why I only bet it. I don't play preseason DFS. I do bet, I bet a lot of preseason DFS. Or I'm sorry, preseason football. So now we get to the question, is where do we go next? Do you go to a Shane Smith in Seattle because it's Seattle? They still have a 4.8 run total here. I don't want to ignore the fact either that this is a robust offense now, right? They bolstered this offense at the trade deadline, made some moves that make Seattle, honestly, one of the scariest teams in baseball. I really think so. Like, I think right now they can contend with anybody in this league. Will they? I'm not saying they will, but teams come out of the blue all the time. And they made a run at the playoffs last year, right? They were in contention for a while. They may have even made it and been eliminated in the wild card. I can't remember that far back, but it's a good baseball team with elite pitching. It's funny. Like, if they were to win the AL West, they're 2 games back, and you get home field there, home field advantage for the Mariners. That's a tough team to beat with that pitching that they have. Assuming Kirby finds his form fully, you got Gilbert and Brian Wu atop that rotation. Pretty good. But anyway, Yuri Perez against Atlanta, Brady Singer against Pittsburgh, Shane Smith against Seattle, and then Carlos Carrasco against Miami. While this is ugly, I don't think you have a ton of untouchables here. Right? I think all of these guys, you could at least make some argument that, hey, you know what? They're okay. Funny enough, I think I like Shane Smith the least, even though he's got one of the best parks. I mean, Yuri Perez at least has flashed significant upside and has pitched remarkably well. You look at Yuri Perez's numbers recently, and I don't know. I mean, how scared are we of the Atlanta Braves at this stage of the game? Not all that much, right? Yuri Perez, young right-hander, Atlanta Braves team, pretty much just average. They have a 4.7 total, but this team, when they were in all their glory just a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, we'll say, they would have had a 5.5 run total in this game. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So I'm not surprised Yuri Perez is getting 19% ownership, which I love. I mean, look at the top 2 probability here, 28%. When I think about a slate like this, I always come back to, hey, Logan Gilbert and Paul Skeens are great. But what if they just have decent games and not great games, which allows you to get like a 20 spot from Yuri Perez, which isn't far off those guys, despite the near $3,000 difference in price. Like, Atlanta strikes out at the 10th highest clip against righties on their active roster. Their WRC plus is 98th. Again, all active roster stuff. Weighted on base average, I said 98th. I think 26. Hold on. 26th. Their WOBA is also 26th. And a 144 ISO for Atlanta this year is 25th. So, a casual may jump into a slate like this. I don't think many casuals are playing this slate, but just for the sake of argument. You could have a casual jump in that's just kind of barely paid attention to baseball, once in a while jumps into the DFS streets, and is like, yeah, I don't want to pitcher against Atlanta. Once you look at this Atlanta offense and how they've performed this year, there's not all that much that's scary about them. Sure, you'd prefer this be in Miami, but man, I am not somebody that's going to try and get away from him today. Not someone I want to get away from in Yuri Perez. Positive. All of these guys outside of Gilbert and Skeens are positively leveraged because those guys are, I mean, the pull on ownership for those guys is crazy today. Crazy. By the way, no weather to concern ourselves with outside of a little possible rain in this Atlanta game, but our good friend Kevin Roth says it looks okay. Looks good to me. No wind, average temperatures. And then you've got a $6,800 Brady Singer. No arguments there. I think I said it yesterday when we were talking, when I went on a bit of a tangent about that Reds rotation, that Singer's not great, but he's also not a guy you'd hate to have towards the back of your rotation. It's exactly how I feel about him, right? He's got like a low 4 xFIP. He's got a 22.5% K rate, pretty average walk rate, 7% for his career, single digit, although high single digit barrel rate. Like Brady Singer just kind of is who he is. He's the type of guy that's very likely going to have a long career at the major league level as just a back of the rotation guy that you can run out there each week, hope to get 5 or 6 innings, give up 3 runs. Like that's pretty much Brady Singer. Doesn't give up a lot of pop. For his career, he's always been, slightly better than league average in the home runs department. So if he's 6,800 against a Pittsburgh team that really doesn't scare anybody, as we discussed yesterday, Pittsburgh obviously worse against lefties than they are against righties, but you're not running away from this matchup for Pittsburgh either, especially at home, right? Like they are still dead last against righties in WRC or an ISO, dead last against righties. That's bad stuff. Matter of fact, their K rate keeps climbing. They're 4th now in strikeout rate. Things are shaping up quickly for this team and not in the right direction. Yeah, you know what? Now that I look at this, Pittsburgh is actually the worst team in the league against righties as well. So they're atrocious across the board, top to bottom. That's what we've got. Stoner, Lafia, are you going to do hockey with Andy Francis collaboration in the future? Asking for a friend. Nah, man. It's funny. Like I play hockey still, but I don't know anything about the NHL anymore. I still watch in the playoffs. If the Flyers are good, I'll watch. It's still a great sport. But if I were to start betting hockey, I would have to set aside a lot of time to get back into it. So no, but Andy and I'll do football all season long. Andy's hockey stuff is great. I think you guys enjoyed the football show we did together last year, Dave and Dan over on Andy's channel. So yeah, we'll do that all season. And we went all the way up until the Super Bowl last year. So that was a lot of fun. But no, man, Brady Singer actually looks pretty good. God, I knew Pittsburgh was bad against righties. I didn't know they were that bad. I didn't know it was at the point now where there was not a single team worse than them in WOBA, WRC plus, and ISO, and only 3 with a higher K rate. Let's call a spade a spade. It's despicable, isn't it now? Despicable, isn't it? It's nuts. So yeah, let's plug Singer in as a viable play today too. I want to show you guys something. This won't be a long show, but I did want to show you guys something interesting. The only other guy, Carlos Carrasco, 4.7 total for Miami. I would go Yuri, Perez, Brady Singer, Carlos Carrasco, and Shane Smith last. That's how I would do it. And I put Logan Gilbert, despite the ownership, I put him ahead of Paul Skeens today. That's just where I'm at. But the one thing I'll say about Carrasco, the guy did throw 95 pitches last time. So that was that crazy 12 to 11 game against Cincinnati. He threw 11. I mean, he gave up 3. He had 5 strikeouts. Don't expect much from Carlos Carrasco, but at 5,100, if we got some exposure to him, and I haven't looked yet, I wouldn't be shocked. I really wouldn't against Miami. If you told me on a 3-game slate, $5,100 Carrasco is popping up a little bit, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Miami's been better than advertised. They don't strike out a lot at all against righties. Sub 20% K rate, bottom 5 or 6 in the league. It's actually not a good matchup. I actually like the Atlanta matchup for Perez, the Pittsburgh matchup for Singer better than I like the Miami matchup for Carrasco. But by default at 5,100, he's in play. So let's see what we've got here. Favorite 150 here. Logan Gilbert, 77. We're still under the field there. Brady Singer, okay, 45. Perez, 16. We're about with the field there. Carrasco and Shane Smith are actually our 2 lowest exposed pitchers. Gilbert, Singer, Skeens. It's kind of funny though, because we're under the field on all those 4 guys despite getting a lot of them. It's pretty interesting. Let me make sure, and I just want to do something real quick here for you guys. We did rerun projections. So let's generate these again and see if it looks any different once we do that. Okay. It's a short slate. I don't mind taking the time to do this. Hopefully, you guys see the point of doing something like that, whether you are or aren't already a sub to the chat, to the tools. So we do have an update here, pretty significant one for the top pitchers, and I'll refresh the top stacks tool as well. See if we can get this. Should actually not take very long because it's only a 3-game slate. All right, here we go. We'll sim 25% the first. See what happens here. Man, Gilbert and Skeens project really well. I just got a glimpse at Gilbert. It was like 23 fantasy points. That's a pretty hefty projection there, no doubt. But there's only so much you can do with this slate. I think the one interesting thing that we're going to take a look at is not just what our exposures are, but I want to see how these lineups look like, what they look like. I have a tough time believing we're getting Gilbert and Skeens in the same lineup, and I would think the Sims just aren't going to feed us much of that at all. Wouldn't surprise me. What's up, Stiegel? Skeens Day. Pirates aren't scoring runs. Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, as far as win equity goes, shit. They've got to be big favorites in Seattle. Got to be big. I mean, you might be talking like minus 300 favorites in Seattle compared to they're minus 294. So we're right on the money there. Skeens is minus 175. Solid, but minus 175 because the offense stinks. So anyway, here we go. We reran the Sims. What do we have? Okay, so good. There we go. Yuri Perez came up. I actually like this exposure a lot more. A lot of Gilbert, a lot of Skeens, a lot of Singer, a lot of Perez, 26%. So this is what I wanted you guys to look at. When we look at our lineups, do we have any with Gilbert and Skeens? I would think no, but if we do, I'm happy to look for you guys to see if we can find it. Let's go in the filters here on the Sims. Lineup contains, hold on. Gilbert. Add filter. We get end. Lineup contains Skeens. Let's see. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like 30 lineups with both of them in the same one, guys. So more than I thought. More than I thought. That's a lot. I thought you were going to see a ton of, just expensive, cheap. But then at the same time, when you look at this exposure, there has to be some overlap there. Anyway, Skeens and Gilbert were getting to 5-man Pittsburgh, 2-man Seattle or Cincinnati. Oh, God. So we have a 5-2 Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. No way. So since 2 Cincinnati bats against Skeens. Pittsburgh, Atlanta here. Miami, Cincinnati, 5-2 with a Skeens Gilbert. And then, so a lot of Miami. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A lot of Miami. This information is more useful than just looking at exposures alone on a 3-game slate. Make sure you guys, too, when you're building out your lineups yourself, that you take a look at some of this stuff. Goes a long way in figuring out why the Sims are giving you what they are. If you look at our top simmed lineups, removing those filters, it's Skeens, Singer with a 3-2-2, White Sox, Atlanta, Seattle. Skeens, Shane Smith, White Sox, Atlanta. Again, you're going to see a lot of White Sox up here because it's a 3-game slate, even though we're getting so much Gilbert. But if you go in the stack exposures, the White Sox 14, 15, so a lot. Like, it looks like most of the non-Gilbert lineups are going to be White Sox lineups, just because you have to find ways to get leverage on these type of slates. Decent amount of Cincinnati too. People are uncomfortable with it, but if you're going to play a 3-game slate and you're comfortable with your lineup, you're pretty much just asking to lose money. Seriously. Oh, long term, if you're just playing chalk across the board on 3-game slates, you're gonna lose money, especially in baseball, where like the chalk, especially at batters, rarely even is what you need anyway. Take a look at the props for these guys as well. See if we've got anything big popping up. All right, so let's see. Strikeouts today. We'll sort by time soonest. Let's see. Strikeouts. Gilbert, 8.5. Holy shit. I know there's juice on the under there on FanDuel, DraftKings, but 8.5. You've got to be kidding me. Monster number there. 4.5 with the overjuice for Shane Smith. Not terrible. Skeens, 7.5 with the overjuiced. I mean, it's just crazy that we're getting these guys on a 3-game slate. Hello. Brady Singer, 5.5. Yuri Perez, 5.5. Fellas, this is actually a pretty decent pitching slate. Not going to lie. The fact that we have 3 games and 4 of them have 5.5 plus K props, it's not bad. Carrasco, 3.5. Let's see pitching outs today. Live odds tool on OddsShopper. It's free, by the way. Again, you create a free account. You want to come follow my picks? That link is down there for tails. They're going to be free all preseason, all regular season, all postseason. See if we can smack another one of those 5-leg touchdown round robins like last year. No, for real though. I put everything out there so we can sweat them together. And it's free. Take 2 seconds, create an account. Same with this on OddsShopper for the free odds. You can literally just sign up through like Apple. If you're on your phone, just use your Apple, or like through Google. So you know it takes 2 seconds. You don't even need to create a real login. And then just follow me on Tails, or if you want to check this stuff out in the live odds tool, you can do that as well. But anyway, Gilbert, 18.5 for the most part, or 17.5 with heavy juice to the over. Smith, 14.5, 17.5 for Skeens. That's nice. Singer, 16.5. Perez, 15.5. Carrasco, 15.5. Outs prop or earned run. Sorry. Jones, there is a live before lock. I think it'll be Josh and Eric. I think it's a 30-minute live before lock, which is, as you guys know, all we need for a slate like this. Figure we do like a 30-minute strategy show, 30-minute live before lock, make that work. 2.5 earned for Shane Smith. Not terrible. Gilbert has the underjuiced on 1.5. Singer's at 2.5. Skeens underjuiced on 1.5. So again, you know, these guys, look, Yuri Perez is a 1.5 too. How about that? I know the over's juiced, but still 1.5 outs for Yuri Perez just makes me like him even more. And guys, if you ever want to use these tools, you already know you can DM me. My handle's right there at Lafia_D, LOUGHY_D. Just hit me up. Hey, Lafia, can I get that big promo code for a week or a month of the Sims? And I'll say, you're damn right, fella. Thanks for reaching out. Glad you did. Welcome to the team. For real, just DM me and I'll get you a code. We still have a full, essentially a calendar month until NFL starts. So the MLB slates are going to stay big. The prize pools are going to stay consistent. No doubt about it. So, or if you just want to be, if you want to bypass everything, just use that link in the description, sign up with any of our sportsbook partners and get the Sims for free. Literally a month of core Sims for free. Just sign up with any of these partners down there. Click claim offer and follow those steps. It's a minimum deposit of like $5 or $10. That's it. I think the core Sims is $130 a month. So you're essentially getting it for free. Plus, if your bet wins, right? If your bet ends up winning, you're in business. So now you're free rolling. Essentially, you already are. Or you get the bonus bets, match deposits, all that good stuff. So check it out. Follow those super simple 4 steps. Every single one of these books or pick'em sites equals another month. So if you signed up on 3 of them, that's 3 months of Sims. You could even save one for NFL if you wanted. Make sure to do that if you haven't yet. Anyway, stack exposure here. We are getting a lot less Seattle today, but still no, we're not getting a lot of Seattle, mostly 3-mans. It's because, and I'll pull up the top stacks tool. It's because the ownership on some of these teams is going to be very, very high. White Sox is very low, as it should be, no doubt. I do, though, I do like Miami against Carrasco. I also kind of like Atlanta against Yuri Perez, because while Yuri Perez clearly has pedigree, he's still one of those type of guys that you wouldn't be shocked to open up the MLB app and you look at it, it's the 2nd inning and he's given up 6 runs. You know, he's a young pitcher, still pretty, I mean, how many innings has he pitched? Yeah, I think so. Last year didn't pitch. 2023, 91 pitches, but he's still semi-wet behind the ears. Like, this is the type of guy that you could get into a little trouble. Also, 4.2 xFIP compared to a 2.7 ERA. This isn't to say I don't like him today. I do. But a 220 BABIP, 74% strand rate. There's a suggestion there with his 30% ground ball rate as well. He's probably getting a little bit lucky. I still like him, but I also like Atlanta a little bit too. For all of those reasons. Go to lineups. Look at our stack exposure. Exposure caps, stacks. Cincy 40%. Miami 30%. White Sox 27%. Okay, so we're getting 27% Atlanta, 11%. Seattle and Pittsburgh are really the 2 teams we're not getting much of. Of course, you guys can always make adjustments. If you wanted to say, like, you know what, let me cap my White Sox exposure to 15%. I want to spread things out, see if I can get some more of these. And you know what? I don't want 40% Cincinnati. I'm not saying you should do this, but let's say you cap them at 20. The Sims will go in, they'll rearrange everything for you, right? Rebalance everything. You can go into your exposure, see what it looks like now. And what that does to us is gives us more Miami against Carrasco. We're getting a ton of them. Still a decent amount of Cincinnati. Go to lineups, go to exposure caps. Do we get more or less of anyone in a significant way? 44%. Okay, Atlanta comes up. I don't mind seeing that. Cincy at 20, White Sox at 15, Pittsburgh. Seattle still, though, at 11%. So I don't think there's much that you can do here to get Atlanta where you want, or Seattle where you want, outside of big manual boosts, which scares me a little bit. Also, pretty bad park. Seattle still 4.8 total is the highest on the slate, but it certainly doesn't stand far apart from Atlanta, Pittsburgh, or Miami. So, yeah, that's what we're looking at, man. Rants, DeGrom's been lit up before. Yeah, of course, guys, these early or abbreviated sites, how many times, for those of you who have been watching with me or watching this show since the beginning of the year, how many times have we faded the chalk ace on these early 3-game sites and stacked against them, and it's worked this year? No joke. Probably more times than playing the chalky pitcher has worked out for us. The opposite has worked more. For real. But anyway, that's what we got. We get in and out on a strategy show like this with only 30 games. I think we covered pretty much everything. The biggest thing here, though, is that we are getting some lineups with Skeens and Gilbert. The Sims are giving us stacks that have the White Sox and the Cincinnati Reds. Mind you, before I set those exposure caps, we're getting even more. That's the way we're getting leverage on a slate like this. Not a huge surprise. Again, yesterday when we ran the Sims for that slate, if you remember, the leverage there on that early 6-gamer was actually like, hey, play the good pitchers, but also when you're not playing them, get some of these teams in against them. And you know what? We saw Minnesota go off for 9 runs against Jack Flaherty, who was one of the most popular pitchers on the slate. So it's possible. Orioles had 5. Ranger Suarez was on the mound. And, you know, he coughed up 4 in the 4th inning. So anything in that respect is possible. God, the Blue Jays had 20 again. Just unbelievable stuff. Anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great rest of the day. We'll close out the week tomorrow. We'll see if home run roulette, see if Josh or I can hit like an 11-1. That's what we're going to need in order to make this work. And yeah, guys, enjoy some preseason football tonight. Like I said, if you're interested, right? All of my picks are on Twitter. They're on Twitter. They're also on Tails. If you wanted to jump over there, check this out, right? So if you just go Tails Expert Picks, and I post a thread on Twitter, but all my picks I put in sometimes days earlier. So if you go in, you can find all of these different people who are posting picks. Oh, Big Daddy Fat Sacks. I don't know what that is. But if you wanted to go for mine, that link down there will take you right to my page, and then you can just click follow. But yeah, all of these picks from everybody. Your boy Eric posts a lot of free picks here. Our good buddy Ben Rasa and everybody else. So come check it out. It's free. All of these picks on here are free. If you wanted to sub to them, that's different. But that's how we do it. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you back here for the next one. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.